write down any kind of response, picture, word, thought on the sheet that says America. But I want to know, what does America mean to you? Just take about 30 seconds, write down any kind of thought, feeling, picture. I want to know. You can write down as many as you want. More seconds. Quick. This is some really good ideas. All right. Does anybody want to share what they have written down?
I wrote the word history.
That was a great word.
I have the word freedom. I drew an American flag.
Everybody loves the flag, don't they?
Patriotic.
Great words. And I want you guys to keep these words in mind as we go through the rest of the lesson. So today we're going to be talking about two really special groups of people that mean a lot to the history of the American. And I wanted to start out with reading this quote. It's by a really famous World War II author. His name is Elmer Davis. And it says, "This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave." Do you guys have any thoughts about this quote? Particularly the word brave or...
The brave soldiers.
Brave soldiers. Well, in about 1750s, there were two groups of very, very brave people, and they were the Patriots and the Loyalists. And they had two very different ideas about what they wanted the American colonies to turn out with, which were the British colonies at one point. So I want to kind of take a little bit to talk about each kind of group. So first we have the Loyalists. And the Loyalists were someone that pledged allegiance to the British crown. They were really loyal to King George III. They thought that a strong British Empire was good for all. They wanted the colonies to be strong, so they decided that they wanted to stay with Britain. And then they thought that it was okay for the Parliament to have control over the colonies because they were protecting us, and they did help us a lot out in the French and Indian War. And then the Patriots, they were the rebels, like the bad kids in your high school or your elementary school. They were the ones that like fought against the teacher or the crown and really just wanted to make things their own. They didn't think that the taxes were right. It'd be like if King George wanted to tax Wi-Fi. Like, everybody would just be really upset about that. I know I would. So they didn't want the crown to take away any of their property. They didn't want to be overtaxed. And they were really upset about all of the violence and the riots and stuff that were going on because of the British soldiers and the colonies at the time. And so something that they used to do a lot, because they had the printing press by then, they were printing propaganda pieces. Can anybody tell me what propaganda is? A modern day example would be like the CoverGirl advertisements or the McDonald's advertisements that you see on TV, something that it wants you to buy it or wants you to vote for that certain person. It's just a piece to kind of persuade you. So I have some examples of real life American propaganda from different wars. And the first one is Uncle Sam, of course. How many of you guys have seen this picture? It's really popular. And it came around to try to get people interested in joining the army to defend our country around World War I, World War II. And then how many of you guys have seen this? Rosie, she's a pretty cool chick. She tried to get a strong female presence in the World War II era in the industry to try to make sure that we had enough production going on for all the guys fighting. And then this one actually came about by Benjamin Franklin. You can tell me who Benjamin Franklin is.
Electricity.
There you go. Pretty cool guy, huh? But he actually drew this in the French and Indian War, and they recirculated it for the Revolutionary War, which is where the Patriots and Loyalists came to play. But it was just kind of join or die. So join the colonies or peace out, pretty much is what it's saying. So there are 4 different kinds of techniques that modern advertisers use when trying to persuade someone, when they're making their advertisements, when they're using their propaganda. So do you guys want to go around and read one?
Testimonial, a product that is endorsed by the celebrity or by an expert.
Bandwagon. The advertiser tries to make you feel like everyone else has the product and if you don't have it too, you'll be left out.
Emotional appeals. The advertiser appeals to the people's fears, joys, sense of nostalgia.
Urgency, the advertiser makes you feel like you need the product right away.
So, knowing these 4 terms now and seeing different examples of propaganda, how do you think that propaganda can influence someone's beliefs or ideas about a certain topic? So, like, if Beyonce was sitting up here like, I put a ring on it, would you do it?
Yeah.
So, if Rosie the Riveter is like, hey, come work for me, she's kind of like the modern day Beyonce. So, yeah. So it's kind of just a way to get, like, that would be an example of testimonial, like a celebrity endorsing a product, or the emotional appeal. Like during this time when they were, when the army was a very, very big deal to join, you know, Uncle Sam, everybody wants to be patriotic, fight for their country. So that's some of these ideas. So I kind of want you guys to do, I'm going to have you 2 be patriots, and then you 2 are going to work together to be the loyalists. I want you guys to use one of these 4 topics and try to make a propaganda poster to convince me to be a patriot or a loyalist. And you guys can use these to refer off of.
Let's use testimonial. King George. What does he look like?
Just an old guy.
Right. Well, I'll just do it.
And here are some examples. Yeah, you guys can work together, you guys can work separate. There's some examples. They don't have to be super intense. These are some good ideas. Really good King George.
Okay, so I'll do one second. You need me to survive. King George has to say. King George has to say.
Anything you guys want to say? Yeah.
Yeah, write that.
We're doing emotional. Well, because we're trying to appeal to emotional.
This is the reference to.
No.
Without me, we can just always be we without. Ah, yep,
There you go. And what does that play off of?
Boston Tea Party.
said fight for what's right, freedom should be free, and I think we were referring to like the taxes and everything, so.
And then what strategy did you use?
We used emotional.
And then what about you guys?
And we did testimonial, and we have King George saying, "Without me, there's no tea."
I like the slogan.
Oh, I wonder if you knew about that.
So, after creating your own propaganda piece, what do you think are some of the benefits for getting these out and posting them if they were on social media or back then in the printing press?
You'll get more people to join your team.
It's easier to spread the word.
It's a lot easier to spell the word, especially with catchy slogans, right? Simple.
Pleasing to the eye.
It's very pleasing, especially like King George, man. He's a
Oh,
looker.
what a hottie.
Alright, guys, I want you to take a serious note here, and I just want you to think about some of the emotions that the patriots and the loyalists may have been feeling during this time of uncertainness, and they don't know really what's going on with the country. And I want you to think about what they would say if they were asked what America meant to them. Just take a couple seconds and we'll compare them. You guys stay a little bit longer?
Got it.
Alright, so loyalists, what would those feelings be?
They wanted to remain true to Britain, or the British colonies, instead of, I don't know, they should obey, like, true to Britain and British laws.
So they kind of felt like they owed
Yes.
Britain. And then what about the Patriots?
They didn't want to depend on anybody. Themselves.
Okay. So, these are your guys' opinions on America, and you guys overall had kind of a really positive outlook on, you know, the patriotism and the freedom and the history. And then, but in the early stages, like it wasn't so clear about all the positive stuff. Like they really had to fight and to work for it. So what do you guys think the biggest difference from then to now is?
Well, now I don't think anyone needs to be under British rule.
That is so, that's about it.
Constitution has, we have a set of rules.
And that really helped to kind of define who we are now. Like these people kind of